Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Racha HaKodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to you sincere and hopeful elect Akim, Ma'a Arabai Alap, that's to say 144,000. Shalom to you. Coming back with another lesson. And with this lesson, I want to touch upon some of the things that the prophet Ezra, received, some of the words he received from the angel Uriel pertaining to the last days. All right, and we are in the last days. All right, definitely we are in the last days, and we just got to keep a vigilant eye on prophecy. All right, so starting here in the GNT, Second Ezra 4 in verse 26, it says, Uriel answered, "If you live long enough, you will be surprised at what you will see, because this age is rapidly passing away." Okay, and that's another thing. This age that we're living in, this eon of Esau, or his uninterrupted period of rule. His chance and his time that's been allotted and given him to rule the world in wickedness, it's rapidly passing away. All right, when you look at the situation that the Amalekites are putting themselves in, they're putting themselves in a bad situation, being that they're headstrong and waging war against Iran. And what that is doing is drawing America into, that war as well, that Third World War, which we know that according to prophecy, all nations is going to be drawn into to World War III. Okay, so Esau is in the power seat, and what's spearheading that power is the Amalekites, the so-called Israelis. All right, and according to the scriptures, the scriptures say that they are the first of the nations, the chief of the nations, which they have pretty much control of the whole planet. The whole planet for a long time has kissed the Israelis' ass as assuming that they were the chosen people, because they control the money, they control all these different organizations and businesses, and they have lobbyists, and they pretty much rule the world with wickedness, wicked oppression. They've had control for so long, but that control is rapidly passing away. All right, we see it going down the drain at a rapid pace daily. Verse 27, it says, "This age is full of misery and imperfection, that it cannot hold the blessings that the Most High has promised the righteous in the time to come." So all the misery and imperfection that this current world is full of cannot be established on the earth when the Israelites rule. All right, that's why back in the days the apostles used to say, two kings can't sit on a throne. You can't have two kings sitting on one throne. All right, which is why as it says in 2 Ezra 6 and 9, that Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau's world has to end in order for our world to begin, and we see that literally happening. We're literally watching, Jacob holding the heel of Esau, okay? And we're usurping Esau by way of prophesying. Us simply prophesying and reading the book is causing the actions in the book by way of prophecy to actually come to pass, man. All right, and that's not something that Esau is happy about. Okay. Verse 28, it says, "The evil about which you have asked me has already been planted, but the time for its harvesting is not yet arrived." Okay. This evil must be harvested, and this road where it was planted must be removed before the new age where the good is to be planted can appear. All right. So like I said, this current power structure, the beast system, all this has to be taken out the way, removed. Okay. It all has to be removed. The infrastructure of the world currently all has to be removed. You got skyscrapers, that are thousands of feet in the air, man, damn near 2,000 feet in the air. All right. It might be some that's actually over 2,000 feet. I'm not sure, but um, according to our law, our royal and holy law, uh, that can't be so. All right. So this earth will undergo a major makeover, to rid it of pretty much its oppression. The earth is being oppressed. Not only the inhabitants of the earth, but the earth itself. When you pouring concrete all over the goddamn earth, all right, digging up plants and trees that serve a purpose. All right, you spraying everything with chemicals. All right, we getting bombarded with chemtrails from the sky. All right, you got nuclear power plants here and there, like that it destroys the earth. It contributes to the earth's destruction, man. And that can't be something that's still in the earth when we rule, man. All right, so that's another reason why it's going to be continual employment in the kingdom, is because there's going to be a lot of cleaning that has to go on. Okay. Verse 30, it says, "At the beginning of the time of grain of evil, at the beginning of the time, one grain of evil seed was sown in the heart of Adam." Okay, and that came by way of Eve. All right, Eve, sharing that fruit with Adam that he knew he wasn't supposed to eat of, and that fruit being a philosophy. All right, a philosophy of of BS that led to just a string of philosophies that have entered the earth one after the other. All right, and lastly, the philosophy that is a major hindrance to righteousness is this beast system. All right, what Esau is coming with this beast system, in which he wants to get everybody chipped up. Okay, so that philosophy, that 666 philosophy, that mark of the beast philosophy, is the last grain of evil seed that is going to be destroyed out of the earth. And then the true doctrine, the true philosophy, all right, the love of wisdom, the love of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, is what's going to blanket the earth. Okay, and the scriptures say, speak about that real quick. Let me see. This is let me Isaiah 11:9. It says and this is a beautiful chapter, Isaiah 11. But for the point, verse 9, it says, "They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahweh as waters cover the sea." Okay, so The earth is going to be full of the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay. Habakkuk 2 and 14, it says, "For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yahweh as the waters cover the sea." So that's, a precept to that. So the whole earth is going to be full of, you know, what's pleasing to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Because what's pleasing to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai on this side has only been made known to us, the Israelites, as the scriptures say. All right. But in the kingdom, the nation of Israel, the men will be kings and priests, will be a nation of kings and priests. And the priests, us being priests, serves the purpose of, pretty much policing these other nations, making sure that, they're doing what they were created to do as far as serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in the end. All right, because in the beginning and currently they weren't made to, serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai the same way we were. All right, us Israelites. All right, but once we become gods, they're gonna have no choice but to, honor and serve their gods. All right, because we will be their gods. And ultimately, they're gonna have to, worship and serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, but we're gonna be gods on the earth. Okay, so being that we, being Israelites, serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai as gods on the earth, they for sure gonna serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Here it is, you got gods living on the earth, that are tangible to some degree, but you won't worship what they worship. You out your motherfucking mind. All right, these heathens they're gonna get in order. All right, they're gonna be getting their ass beat, but they're gonna fall in order. Verse 30, it says, "At the beginning of time, one grain of evil seed was sown in the heart of Adam. See how much wickedness it hath already produced." All right, and this when he was speaking this was before the Roman Empire even came on the scene. Okay, and you see how much, wickedness was going on. All right, look at what happened with in the book of Maccabees, when you read the first chapter. Evils were multiplied in the earth. All right, that was when the Greeks came into power. All right, Alexander the Great. All right, Alexander the Greek passed, and he left his kingdom to his 4 generals. And when they start ruling, that's when this utter wickedness just took over the earth. All right, so this was even before them times when the angel Uriel said this. All right, we're in the end. All right, when the Lord about to shoot missiles off. So how much more evil and wickedness, has been produced in the earth. All right, we're in the end where that harvest is ripe, man. All right, it says, "Think of how much more it will produce before it is cut down and threshed out at Judgment Day." All right, and we're rapidly approaching that Judgment Day. When the Lord is actually gonna, thresh out, that evil. It says, "You can see for yourself what a big crop this one evil seed has produced. How terrible will be the harvest on Judgment Day when the countless heads of grain are threshed out." It says, "Then I asked, how long do we have to wait before this happens? Why are our lives so short and full of misery?" Uriel answered, "Don't be in a greater hurry than the Most High. You are thinking only of yourself, but the Most High has to be concerned about everybody." Let me see what I want to read to. So like I'm trying to see where I was going to read to. Actually, hold on. All right, yeah, I didn't have an ending point, but that's pretty. That pretty much serves the purpose for that. I just wanted to get to that grain of evil seed, and um the fact that this age is rapidly passing away. All right, so let me grab this here in Matthew 13 and 36. Okay, it says the tares explained. It says, then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. All right, which, Yahushua. The field is the world, and the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. All right, because you got a lot of tares amongst Israel. You got a lot of the seed of Satan amongst Israel. All right, all these Israelite women that you see with Edomites and Moabites and Ammonites and actual Hamites and Japhites and Ishmaelites. All right, the children that they have with these heathen men are heathen themselves. Okay, but they might come out looking like an Israelite, but you can tell something's off with them. All right, so you got a lot of that going on within the nation of Israel, but all those tares, they're gonna be part of that threshing. Okay, it says the enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. And you know what? A good example of a tare would be Herod the Great. All right, because he goes back to the lineage of um he goes back to the lineage of Amalek, excuse me, of Esau. Okay, so the children that Herod had, okay, starting with Antipater the Idumean, his father. That line of Herods that came after that came out of Antipater the Idumean. Those were Edomites that looked like Israelites. Further down the line. All right, so that's the example of the enemy sowing tares, aka graham crackers, amongst Israel. Okay, it says the enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. All right. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. So another reason, why the armies of the earth is going to be gathered over in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Saudi Arabia, is for the purpose of destroying those armies. Okay, so not only are the angels gonna set ablaze those armies that fight over in the Middle East, but the armies, the angels is gonna also set ablaze certain people around the world, man. In particular here in Babylon, you got a bunch of terrorists here in Babylon. Okay, so the angels is gonna be lighting people on fire, as well as delivering the Lord's elect, because the Lord's elect is amongst all these terrors here in Babylon in particular. And the chariots serve two purposes. You got the shuttle ships that's going to be setting things on fire, and then you got the mothership, or the fathership, should I say, Salakia, which is Yahweh Shai's ship that the elect is going to be beamed up into. Okay. Verse 41, it says, the Son of Man shall send forth his angels, all right, those subtle ships, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend and them which do iniquity. Okay. It says, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. Because think about it, when the Lord returns, when the Lord makes his second coming, his second appearance, is his kingdom. All right. They got the saying, touch down to cause hell. That's what Yahushua gonna do. He gonna touch down to cause hell. But through that hell is gonna come peace. So when the Lord returns back to this realm, hey, it's the day of the Lord. It's his kingdom. And guess what? If it's wicked, it's gotta go. Okay, so that's gonna be a lot of people. So that's why the Lord is gonna have his angels, in those shuttle ships, and they're gonna gather together the things that offend, everything that's evil and causes, as it says in the NLT, causes sin and who do evil. All right, is gonna be rooted up and removed, from the earth. Verse 42, it says, and shall cast him into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth, because ultimately those thermonuclear missiles is what's going to, take America out. All right. It says, then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. All right. And those righteous that's going to shine forth, they're going to shine because here it is, the whole world was completely given to the philosophy that came with that grain of evil seed that was sown in Adam. You got the wicked that they're gonna take that chip, they're gonna bow to the image of Baal, so to say. But the elect is gonna deny and rebuke all that. All right, so deliverance, being delivered from that, man, the world, the rest of the world is gonna know, the people over in the East, okay, is gonna know, oh, this one of them elect. All right, they stood firm and strong for Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the God that they said was real, that the whole world didn't believe. All right, that's gonna cause you to shine brightly in the kingdom of heaven, man. That's a reward. All right. So this is Romans 9:28. It says, "For he will finish the work and cut it short in righteousness, because a short work will the Lord make upon the earth." All right. In the NLT, it says, "For the Lord Yahweh will carry out his sentence upon the earth quickly and with finality." All right. So the Lord is about to do his thing, man. He's about to allow the lid to blow off the pot, so to say. All right. And we just gotta remain vigilant and watch. Okay. Because this world is passing away, and it's a joy to actually witness it. So Abaratazah, I pray this was an edifying lesson. Till next time, Shalom.